The arena floated silently in the darkness of space, a massive oval of shining metal that reflected the light of distant stars. Thousands of alien spectators filled the hovering stands, their eyes glowing in shades of green, blue, and red. The air buzzed with excitement, a mixture of anticipation and curiosity. This was not just any competition. It was the Galactic Combat Games, an event where the strongest warriors from across star systems came to prove their might. Today, the audience was about to witness something unusual. A human had been brought here to fight. Kieran, the human, stood at the entrance of the arena, his boots heavy on the metallic floor. He could feel the vibrations of the massive structure, the echoes of alien chatter bouncing off walls that stretched higher than any building on Earth. He was calm, though his heart beat faster than normal. Kieran had trained for years in harsh conditions, in environments that pushed humans to their limits, but nothing could fully prepare him for this moment. He looked up at the massive stands, noting the shapes and movements of alien spectators. Their eyes followed him, curious, judgmental, and some even dismissive. "Interesting," said a voice from behind him, deep and smooth with an edge of amusement. Kieran turned slightly to see Zirak, the alien champion, stepping forward. Zirak was huge, tall, muscular, with 6 arms, each tipped with claw-like fingers. His skin was a shifting shade of blue, and his eyes, 4 of them, gleamed with sharp intelligence and cunning. There was a strange elegance in the way he moved, a predator's grace combined with raw strength. "You are the human they sent to amuse us?" Zirak said, his voice carrying over the arena like a low rumble. "I have fought being stronger, faster, and smarter than you. Do you think you can survive here?" Kieran said nothing. He simply adjusted his stance, feet planted firmly on the ground. He had learned long ago that words were not always necessary. Actions, instincts, and timing mattered far more. The alien stepped closer, his multiple arms moving fluidly as if ready to strike. Zirak reached out and lightly tapped Kieran's shoulder, a gesture meant to be playful, but it carried a challenge. "You are small, fragile, and yet they dare to bring you here?" Zirak teased, circling Kieran as a hunter would circle prey. "I hope you know. I enjoy toying with my food before I finish it." The audience laughed, a strange chorus of sounds, some melodic, others harsh and grating. They had never seen a human in this arena, and most assumed the novelty would end quickly. Humans were not known for physical strength compared to many alien species. They relied on technology, strategy, and sometimes luck. But humans had something else, something even the most advanced aliens often underestimated. Kieran felt a warmth rise in his chest. Not anger, not fear, but something deeper. The humans had a saying, "The beast within will awaken when the time comes." For years, Kieran had felt that strength, that instinct, but he had never fully relied on it. Now facing Zirak, he could sense it stirring. It was like a low hum in his blood, a steady rhythm that grew louder with every taunt, every mocking glance. Zirak laughed again, confident, and flexed his arms. "You hesitate. That hesitation will be your undoing." He leapt backward, landing gracefully in a crouch, his 6 arms folding neatly. The alien's movements were precise, but Kieran noticed something: predictable patterns. Every predator had them. Every fighter repeated their techniques when confident. The human shifted his weight, planting his hands slightly wider than normal, ready to react. He didn't need to see the full battlefield. He sensed it. His years of training, his instincts, and the human ability to adapt quickly were all converging now. Kieran was calm on the surface, but inside, the low hum of the beast grew stronger. Zirak smirked. "Do you fight like this often? Or is this hesitation just human weakness?" He darted forward, claws extended, moving faster than Kieran expected. The first strike was a blur, aimed to test reflexes, to see if the human flinched. Kieran barely moved, letting the alien's claws swipe past his shoulder. He felt the air ripple, smelled the faint metallic tang of the arena's energy, and sensed the shifts in Zirak's balance. Humans could not match aliens in raw speed, but their instincts, their awareness of subtle changes, could level the playing field. Kieran reacted instinctively, sidestepping, then pivoting to put himself behind Zirak, using the alien's momentum against him. The audience gasped. They had not expected the human to move so quickly, so purposefully. Zirak's eyes widened slightly, not in fear but in surprise. This was unusual. No human had ever matched his speed and precision, at least not without tools. Kieran smiled faintly, a small curve of the lips, though his focus never wavered. You are faster than I thought, Xerac admitted, his voice tinged with intrigue. He crouched lower, circling again, trying to find a new approach, one that would break Kieran's rhythm. Kieran noticed the subtle cues, Xerac's breathing pattern, the angle of his legs, the tension in his multiple arms. Every alien, no matter how advanced, revealed their intentions if one watched closely. Kieran's eyes narrowed. The beast inside him was fully awake now. It whispered, reminding him of his power, his resilience. The human was no longer just a novelty in the arena. He was a threat. Xerac lunged again, this time with more force. Kieran's body moved before thought, ducking low, feeling the air whip past his face, his muscles coiling, ready to spring. His counterattack was precise, a swift kick aimed at the alien's midsection, not to kill, but to destabilize. Xerac staggered slightly. The audience roared, a mixture of excitement and disbelief. You move differently, Xerac said, circling again more cautiously. There is something inside you. Kieran did not answer. He did not need to. His eyes were focused, his body ready. Every muscle, every nerve was alive with anticipation. He knew Xerac wanted to provoke him, to tease the human into a mistake. But Kieran had learned long ago that control, patience, and instinct were stronger than arrogance and brute force. The alien's teasing continued. Words and gestures meant to mock, but Kieran felt a strange calm. The beast inside him stirred fully now, not out of anger, not out of fear, but out of clarity. He was aware of every movement, every breath, every subtle vibration in the arena. Humans were adaptable, unpredictable, and no alien could completely anticipate them. Xerac, sensing the change, grew more cautious. You are different, he said, his tone both challenging and intrigued. Most humans would have panicked. Most humans would have fled, but you stand firm. The human smiled again, faintly, just enough to show confidence. He flexed his fingers, feeling the strength in his arms and legs. He did not need weapons. His instincts were his weapons, his mind was his shield, and the beast within was his advantage. The crowd waited, the tension in the arena rising like a storm. No one had seen a human move like this before. Xerac's confidence faltered, replaced by a spark of respect mixed with the determination to win. He had underestimated the human, and he knew now that the first strike had only awakened the beast within Kieran. As the opening bell echoed through the arena, signaling the start of the real combat, Kieran's body tensed, ready to react. He was not afraid. He was alive. Every instinct, every lesson, every ounce of human determination surged through him. The alien had teased, but the human was ready. The beast inside him had stirred first, and the game was only beginning. The bell echoed across the arena, a metallic sound that vibrated through the floors and walls of the floating structure. The audience's excitement surged like a living wave. Kieran stood firm, muscles coiled, senses sharpened to their limits. Xerac advanced slowly, 6 arms moving in perfect coordination, each limb a potential weapon. The alien's confident smirk had returned, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his 4 glowing eyes. He could feel it. The human was different, unpredictable, dangerous. Kieran did not rush. He had learned long ago that the first mistake in combat could be fatal. Instead, he studied Xerac, noting the subtle shifts in weight, the way each arm flexed before a strike, the rhythm in the alien's breathing. Humans had a unique advantage, the ability to adapt and improvise instantly. While most aliens relied on brute strength or programmed combat styles, Kieran's mind was free to react in ways no alien could anticipate. The first attack came swiftly. Xerac lunged forward with a flurry of claws, striking from multiple angles at once. The air itself seemed to shiver under the force. Many of the spectators assumed the human would falter. He did not. Kieran ducked, twisted, and sidestepped with a fluid motion that made his movements look almost dance-like. The alien's claws missed him by inches, slicing through the air where he had just stood. The crowd gasped. Even seasoned aliens were murmuring to each other, surprised at the human's reflexes. Kieran's instincts guided him, a perfect blend of caution and aggression. His mind calculated the alien's momentum and exploited tiny weaknesses, turning Xerac's force into openings for counters. Yet he did not strike immediately. He wanted to provoke Xerac into mistakes, just as the alien had tried to provoke him. Xerac noticed the human's restraint and smirked again. Clever, he said, his voice a low growl. But hesitation is weakness. Let us see how long you can survive without faltering. With a sudden burst, Zirak extended all 6 arms simultaneously, attempting to overwhelm Kieran. Each arm moved in a different direction, some striking high, others low, each faster than the eye could follow. Kieran's body reacted almost before thought, ducking, twisting, and rolling with a natural fluidity. He felt the air rush past his face, smelled the faint ozone from the alien's energy-charged skin, and sensed the vibration of the floor beneath his boots. Every instinct honed over years of survival and training guided him. Then, in a sudden instinctive move, Kieran shifted behind Zirak and delivered a swift kick to the alien's midsection. The strike was precise, not intended to harm deeply but to destabilize. Zirak staggered slightly, the smirk fading as a spark of surprise appeared in his eyes. He adjusted quickly, spinning to face Kieran, claws ready, but there was now a hint of caution in his movements. The alien's teasing tone faltered. Impressive. For a human, Zirak admitted, circling again, this time slower, testing Kieran's reactions carefully. You move differently from anything I have faced. There is something in you, a force I did not expect. Kieran remained calm. His eyes followed every detail. The flex of Zirak's claws, the tilt of his head, the subtle pattern in his breathing. The beast inside him stirred more fully now, a quiet, steady hum that gave him heightened awareness. He was aware of the alien's intentions even before the movements began. Humans were adaptable. Humans were unpredictable. That was their strength. Zirak tried a new tactic, launching himself into the air with a powerful leap. He aimed to strike from above, his claws slicing downward with terrifying precision. Kieran barely had a moment to react. The ground beneath him was slick, the metallic floor resonating with energy, yet the human shifted instinctively, diving to the side and rolling across the floor. He felt the floor scrape against his arms and legs, but he landed safely on his feet, eyes locked on Zirak. The alien's eyes widened slightly. Curious. You are not only fast, but resilient. Most beings would be injured by that maneuver. Kieran didn't respond. Words were unnecessary. His body moved with precision. Each step calculated yet fluid, a perfect combination of instinct and intellect. He could feel the rhythm of Zirak's attacks beginning to repeat, the subtle patterns that betrayed the alien's reliance on confidence. Every strike Zirak made had a traceable rhythm, and Kieran's human mind was quick to detect it. With a sudden burst, Kieran used Zirak's momentum against him. As the alien lunged forward, Kieran sidestepped and grabbed one of Zirak's legs, twisting and redirecting the force. The alien stumbled, almost falling, but regained balance with a powerful sweep of his arms. The crowd erupted, gasps and cheers echoing across the arena. Never before had a human moved with such control and foresight in this type of combat. Zirak growled, his multiple eyes narrowing. You are more than I imagined. Most humans are fragile, weak, predictable, but you are different. There is fire in you. Kieran felt the beast inside him fully awaken, but it was not rage. It was clarity. It was focus. It was instinct sharpened to perfection. The human did not rely on arrogance or mindless aggression. Instead, he combined speed, awareness, and adaptability, using every ounce of his being to counter the alien's attacks. The battle continued in waves. Zirak unleashed a series of rapid strikes, each faster and more unpredictable than the last. Kieran danced around them, ducking, twisting, leaping, and sometimes using the alien's own force to propel himself into advantageous positions. Each counter was calculated yet instinctive, flowing naturally from his body. At one point, Zirak lunged with a powerful overhead strike, intending to crush Kieran in a single blow. Kieran rolled to the side and grabbed a nearby metal beam on the arena floor, using it to vault over the alien. He landed behind Zirak, chest heaving, eyes gleaming with focus. The audience's reactions shifted from amusement to awe. They had underestimated humans, and Kieran was proving that humans were not to be dismissed. The alien growled low in frustration. You are clever, human. I underestimated you. I will not make that mistake again. He circled cautiously, studying Kieran with renewed respect. But cleverness alone will not win. Let us see how you handle raw power. Zirak's 6 arms glowed faintly as energy surged along his body. The air around him seemed to warp slightly, and the floor vibrated as the alien prepared a strike meant to test Kieran's limits. Humans were strong, but Zirak was faster, more powerful, and trained for battle unlike anything on Earth. Many would have panicked. Many would have fled. But Kieran stood firm. He had felt the beast within stir during every move, and now it guided him fully. The alien lunged again, faster than before. Kieran's body moved on instinct, sidestepping, twisting, and using Zirak's own energy against him. The alien stumbled slightly, surprised once more. Kieran's confidence grew, but he remained focused. This was not arrogance, it was awareness. The human was not just surviving. He was learning, adapting, and countering in ways the aliens could not predict. Zirak's voice rumbled across the arena. This human is unlike any I have faced. He is dangerous. Kieran's eyes narrowed. He felt the power of the human spirit coursing through him. It was not just strength. It was courage, adaptability, and instinct combined in perfect harmony. Humans were underestimated by almost every alien species. They relied on machines, on technology, on brute force. But humans had something more: unpredictability and the ability to rise when all odds seemed impossible. The first clash ended with Zirak stepping back, arms lowered slightly. He studied Kieran carefully, respect mixing with frustration. You have survived the first wave. Not many can do that, he admitted. But this is only the beginning. Kieran breathed steadily, muscles tense, senses alive. The beast inside him had stirred, not out of anger or hatred, but out of awareness and clarity. He had faced death many times on Earth, in wars, in battles, in harsh environments. This alien champion was strong, but Kieran's human instincts were sharper, his mind quicker, his body more adaptable. The stage was set, and both combatants knew the real challenge was about to begin. The audience, once eager to see a human fail, now watched in awe. Humans, they realized, were not simple creatures. Kieran had proven that raw instinct, courage, and adaptability could challenge even the most advanced alien warriors. The arena was alive with anticipation, and deep inside Kieran, the beast stirred, ready to guide him through the next phase of the fight. The arena was a whirl of movement, the metallic floor glinting under the energy lights that pulsed in rhythm with the spectators' excitement. Kieran stood slightly hunched, muscles taut, eyes locked on Zirak. The alien champion circled, 6 arms moving like a living storm, each one a threat. But now, Kieran felt something stronger than fear or caution. He felt the stirrings of the beast inside him. It was not a literal monster, but a raw, instinctive force, a combination of human resilience, awareness, and adaptability. It hummed in his veins, sharpening his senses, guiding his movements. Zirak's smirk remained, though his eyes betrayed caution. He had underestimated humans, and the first clash had proven Kieran was no ordinary fighter. He darted forward suddenly, aiming a strike from the side, claws extended to slice through armor or flesh. But Kieran was ready. He felt the movement before it happened, instinctively shifting, twisting, and rolling with a fluid motion. The alien's claws swept past his shoulder, leaving only a faint breeze and a shimmer of displaced air. You move differently from any prey I have hunted, Zirak growled, circling again. Most creatures panic. Most flee. But you adapt. You survive. Kieran said nothing. Words were unnecessary. The beast inside him thrummed, guiding his muscles and mind. Every sense was heightened. The smell of the arena's metallic floor, the vibration of Zirak's steps, the faint hum of energy flowing along the alien's claws. Humans could be underestimated because they lacked raw alien strength or speed, but their instincts, adaptability, and courage made them unpredictable, and unpredictability was dangerous. The alien lunged, this time with more force, aiming a spinning strike that could have dismembered most beings. Kieran rolled, landing lightly on the balls of his feet, his movement precise, his timing perfect. The audience gasped, many aliens leaning forward, eyes wide. A human moving like this, dodging attacks meant for the strongest warriors of the galaxy? It was unheard of. Kieran's mind raced, calculating, adapting. He noticed the pattern in Zirak's strikes. The alien relied on rhythm and anticipation. Every lunge, every spin, every feint carried a traceable rhythm, and humans, unlike most aliens, could detect it with enough attention and instinct. He adjusted his stance, ready to exploit any opening. Zirak leapt backward, landing with the grace of a predator, claws scraping the metallic floor. He studied Kieran, frustration mixing with intrigue. You are more than I imagined. Most humans are fragile, weak, predictable. But you are different. There is fire in you. The beast inside Kieran responded not with anger, but with clarity. He was not reckless. He was focused, aware, alive. He realized that his body could move faster than his mind could consciously process. He could anticipate, react, and counter instinctively. The alien's confidence, once unshakable, wavered slightly. Kieran could sense it. Zirek attacked again, faster and more unpredictably. Kieran ducked low, rolled under a spinning strike, and then vaulted over one of the alien's extended limbs. He landed lightly behind Zirek, eyes glinting with focus. The audience erupted with excitement. They had come to see a novelty, a human underdog, but now they witnessed something extraordinary. Kieran was not just surviving, he was learning, adapting, and beginning to turn the tide. The alien growled low in frustration. Clever human. You learn quickly, but can you withstand raw power? Zirek's body glowed faintly, energy coursing along his limbs. The arena's floor vibrated under the alien's sheer force. Most beings would freeze in terror. Kieran, however, felt a thrill. The beast inside him thrummed, guiding him to survive, to anticipate, to move. He felt the air, the energy, and the subtle shifts in Zirek's weight. Humans were not the strongest species in the galaxy, but they were unpredictable, resilient, and determined, and that made them dangerous. Kieran feinted to the left, then spun right, narrowly avoiding a downward strike that could have crushed him. He moved with fluidity, combining instinct, agility, and awareness. Each dodge, each twist, each leap fed the beast inside him, amplifying his focus and strength. The alien's strikes became more forceful, more erratic as Zirek realized his opponent was not human in the usual sense. This human was something different, something the aliens had rarely encountered, a fighter who combined intellect, reflex, and instinct seamlessly. The audience leaned forward, eyes wide. Many whispered among themselves. He is a human, yet he moves with precision beyond belief, one alien spectator muttered. How can a human survive this? Zirek growled, circling once more. He tried a different approach, aiming a low sweep to knock Kieran off balance. But Kieran had anticipated it. With a swift step, he jumped over the sweep, landed on a nearby platform, and immediately launched a counterattack. A precise kick aimed not to harm, but to test Zirek's reaction. The alien staggered slightly, and Kieran noticed a flicker of respect in his eyes. The beast inside Kieran was no longer just instinct. It was awareness, strategy, and courage fused together. He realized he could control the fight by observing, anticipating, and striking at the right moment. Zirek had teased him, underestimated him, but now the human was no longer a novelty to toy with. He was a contender, a force to be reckoned with. Zirek lunged forward with a sudden burst, claws extended in a deadly arc. Kieran dodged, ducking low and rolling under the alien's swing. He rose quickly, using Zirek's momentum to propel himself behind the alien. With a swift movement, he grabbed the alien's arm and pushed, forcing Zirek off balance. The crowd erupted into cheers. A human had managed to manipulate a warrior far stronger and faster than himself. Zirek's voice was low, a mixture of frustration and admiration. You are remarkable. I did not expect this from a human. He flexed his claws, energy crackling along his limbs. But this is only the beginning. Let us see how far your instincts can take you. The alien charged again, faster, more erratic, trying to overwhelm Kieran with raw force. But the human's beast was fully awake now. It guided his movements, sharpening his reflexes, amplifying his focus. He dodged, twisted, and countered with precision. Every strike Zirek made was met with anticipation. Humans were not the strongest, but they were adaptable, resourceful, and relentless. That combination made them terrifying in a fight where instinct and survival mattered. Kieran's mind raced, but his thoughts were calm. Each movement flowed naturally, instinct guiding him. He realized the alien had no idea how to predict a human who fought with intuition as well as strategy. Zirek was fast, strong, and skilled, but Kieran was unpredictable, resilient, and clever. Every dodge, every leap, every counter was a message. Humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous. The alien growled, frustration and awe mixing in his voice. I underestimated you, human. You are more than a novelty. You are formidable. Kieran did not respond verbally. His eyes glinted with quiet confidence. The beast inside him had fully awakened, not with rage, but with focus and clarity. He could feel every strike, every movement, every shift in the alien's balance. Humans were underestimated not because they were weak, but because their strength was different. It was unpredictable, instinctive, and unstoppable when fully unleashed. The battle raged on, each movement a test, each counter a display of human ingenuity and instinct. Zirak realized that he could not simply overpower Kieran. The human was too aware, too fast, too adaptable. The audience roared, witnessing a display of resilience and courage unlike anything they had ever seen. As the first real wave of combat ended, both warriors stepped back, breathing heavily. Zirak's four eyes glinted with respect. You have survived the first real challenge. Not many could. But remember, human, the fight is far from over. Kieran's chest rose and fell steadily. The beast inside him purred quietly, not with anger but with readiness. He had survived, adapted, and even challenged the alien. The next phase would be tougher, but he was ready. Humans were resilient. Humans were unpredictable. Humans had the courage to face the impossible, and Kieran was living proof. The arena seemed to vibrate with energy, the audience buzzing with excitement. Kieran knew this was only the beginning. The beast inside him was awake, and the real challenge, the one that would test his instincts, intelligence, and courage, was coming. And deep within, he welcomed it. The arena lights pulsed like the heartbeat of the crowd, casting sharp shadows across the metallic floor. Kieran crouched lightly on the balls of his feet, muscles coiled, eyes locked on Zirak. The alien champion circled, energy crackling along his 6 arms. Each movement was precise, calculated. But Kieran had learned to read the patterns, to anticipate the subtle cues the alien left in every strike. Zirak lunged with a burst of speed, aiming a spinning strike meant to catch Kieran off guard. Kieran ducked, twisting his body to the side, narrowly avoiding the lethal sweep. He could feel the rhythm of the alien's attacks now, the pattern beneath the chaos. Humans were not just reactive, they were adaptive. Kieran used Zirak's momentum to spring into a quick counterattack, delivering a precise strike to one of the alien's legs. Zirak stumbled, barely maintaining balance. The crowd erupted. Aliens whispered among themselves, their confidence in their champion shaken. Humans, they realized, were far from ordinary. You are clever, human, Zirak growled, frustration edging his voice. But cleverness alone will not win. Kieran's eyes narrowed. He knew that brute strength would not defeat Zirak, but strategy, patience, and instinct could. He had survived Zirak's assaults, learned the alien's patterns, and now he could use them against him. Humans were unpredictable in ways the aliens could not calculate. Zirak charged again, claws extended in a deadly arc. Kieran dodged, weaving through the attack, then launched a series of rapid strikes, each one aimed not to harm but to destabilize. He kicked, ducked, and used Zirak's own momentum to throw him off balance. The alien growled, spinning to face him, clearly surprised by the human's adaptability. You are not like the others, Zirak admitted, circling cautiously. Your instincts, your reflexes, they are beyond human norms. Kieran's lips curved into a faint smile. The beast inside him had fully emerged, not a creature of rage but a force of focus, awareness, and resilience. He could sense Zirak's next move almost before it happened. Every step, every twitch of an arm, every shift in weight gave him information. Humans had survived countless challenges on Earth, adapting to environments harsher than most aliens could imagine. That adaptability, that survival instinct, was now guiding Kieran. Zirak attempted a new tactic, a high leap with a spinning strike, aiming to crush Kieran from above. Kieran ducked at the last moment, rolling across the floor and launching himself into a counterattack. He delivered a swift strike to the alien side, not strong enough to hurt fatally but enough to disrupt balance. Zirak stumbled, arms flailing as he regained footing. The audience roared with excitement, witnessing a human challenge a champion like never before. The battle intensified. Kieran moved like water, fluid, adaptable, and unpredictable. He dodged, twisted, and countered with precision, each movement guided by instinct and strategy. Humans were not the strongest species, but their unpredictability, courage, and quick adaptation made them formidable. Zirak realized he could not simply overpower Kieran. The human's mind was as sharp as his body, and his instincts made him nearly untouchable. Kieran's focus sharpened further. He began setting traps, anticipating Zirak's attacks and luring him into mistakes. When the alien lunged recklessly, Kieran sidestepped, grabbed one of Zirak's extended limbs, and used the alien's own energy to propel him forward. Zirak landed awkwardly, the force of the maneuver sending him skidding across the arena floor. You are extraordinary, Zirak muttered, frustration and admiration mingling. No human has ever fought like this. Kieran did not respond with words. His eyes glimmered with calm determination. The beast within him thrummed quietly, enhancing his awareness, guiding his reflexes, and sharpening his focus. Humans were underestimated because their strength was different, less about raw power and more about adaptability, resilience, and courage. That difference was now becoming a deciding factor. The alien tried a rapid series of attacks, energy sparking along his arms, aiming to overwhelm Kieran. But the human was ready. He dodged, parried, and redirected using Xerek's force against him. The alien's confidence faltered. Kieran's strategy was clear. Survive the onslaught, learn the rhythm, and then strike when the opportunity arose. Kieran's mind was calm, his body moving with precision. He had survived every assault so far, and he had grown stronger with each encounter. The beast inside him was not fury, it was awareness, adaptability, and courage. Every movement was instinctive, every reaction calculated. Humans were not machines. They were living, thinking, adapting beings capable of surprising even the most advanced alien warriors. Xerek's frustration grew. "You adapt too quickly! No one else moves like you. I cannot predict your next move." Kieran's lips curved into a faint smile. He had learned to embrace the beast inside him. It was not about rage or anger. It was about survival, adaptation, and using every skill, every instinct, every ounce of courage to turn the tide. With a sudden burst, Kieran launched his final move in this phase. He feinted to the left, then twisted right, using Xerek's momentum against him. The alien stumbled, arms flailing, energy crackling dangerously close to his body. Kieran landed lightly on his feet, eyes locked on his opponent, ready for the next stage. The arena erupted into cheers. Humans were not expected to survive a single round against an alien champion. Yet Kieran had done more than survive. He had turned the fight into a display of ingenuity and resilience. Xerek's respect for the human grew, mixed with frustration. He realized the battle was no longer one-sided. "You are formidable," Xerek admitted. "But this is only the beginning, human. The fight is far from over." Kieran nodded slightly, eyes focused. The beast inside him thrummed, ready for the next wave. Humans were not the strongest by default, but their courage, adaptability, and unpredictability made them dangerous. And Kieran was the perfect example. The arena seemed alive, the metallic floor vibrating under the anticipation of the spectators. Xerek's eyes glowed with energy, a mixture of determination and respect. The alien champion had realized that brute force alone would not win this battle. Kieran had learned his patterns, adapted to his speed, and harnessed the beast within. Human instinct sharpened to perfection. "You have survived, human," Xerek growled. "You are extraordinary. But this is the final round. Let us see if you can truly triumph." Kieran's eyes narrowed. He did not hesitate. His body, guided by instinct and awareness, was ready. Humans had survived impossible challenges on Earth. Storms, wars, harsh environments, and threats far greater than themselves. That resilience, adaptability, and courage had been honed into a force that even Xerek could not predict. The final clash began. Xerek charged with unmatched speed, energy crackling along his six arms. Kieran moved with fluidity, sidestepping, rolling, and using the alien's momentum to propel himself into advantageous positions. Each movement was instinctive yet precise. The beast inside him was fully awake, not as rage, but as awareness and strength. The crowd roared, witnessing a display of skill, courage, and unpredictability. Humans were underestimated, often dismissed as fragile or weak, but Kieran's actions shattered every expectation. He was not just surviving. He was dominating in ways the audience had never imagined. Xerek swung with immense power, claws extended, energy sparking dangerously close to Kieran. The human ducked, twisted, and then launched a counterattack. Every strike was calculated to disrupt, not destroy. Kieran used Xerek's own momentum to throw him off balance, forcing the alien to recover quickly. The crowd gasped. Even seasoned aliens were in awe. "You are unlike any human I have faced," Xerek admitted, circling cautiously. "Your instincts, your courage, they are beyond expectation." Kieran's lips curved into a calm smile. The beast inside him thrummed quietly, amplifying awareness, guiding reflexes, and sharpening focus. Humans were underestimated not because they were weak, but because their strength was different, adaptive, resilient, and fearless. That strength now defined the fight. Xerek launched a final series of attacks, faster and more unpredictable than ever. Kieran dodged, twisted, and countered with precision, using the alien's force against him. Each movement was instinctive, yet strategic. Humans were dangerous not because of brute strength, but because of adaptability, courage, and unpredictability. The alien faltered. Kieran had learned every pattern, anticipated every move, and used every ounce of skill, instinct, and courage to turn the fight in his favor. With a final precise maneuver, he destabilized Zirak completely, leaving the alien off balance and vulnerable. The crowd erupted into cheers, the sound echoing through the arena. Humans were not just survivors. They were warriors capable of triumphing against impossible odds. Kieran stood tall, chest heaving, eyes locked on Zirak, ready for whatever came next. The alien slowly lowered his arms, energy dissipating. "You have triumphed, human," he admitted, voice filled with respect. "Not by strength alone, but by courage, adaptability, and instinct. You have shown that humanity is not to be underestimated." Kieran nodded, calm and composed. The beast inside him had done its work, not as rage, but as focus, awareness, and courage. Humans were not the strongest species by default, but they were unpredictable, resilient, and fearless. The arena vibrated with applause. Kieran had not only survived, but had triumphed, proving that the human spirit, the instinct, and the courage to face the impossible could